You ever remember those times where you're so close to achieving something incredible? It's about to be amazing, but you just miss it by that much. You miss that opportunity, and everything will go downhill from that. A team that just got experience with this is the Colorado College Tigers. They just missed out on the NCAA tournament by 0.0003 points. In 1938, Spencer Penrose and Charles Tutt developed plans to convert the Broadmoor's unused equestrian center into an indoor ice arena, known as the Broadmoor's Ice Palace. The Tigers would play in the Pikes Peak Hockey League, which included many teams that were sponsored by Colorado Springs businesses, and those teams would prepare to beat CC 8-1 in their first game. Garrett Livingston took over in 1939 and would transition the team from the Pikes Peak Hockey League to the NCAA Division I independent program, and would recruit players from Canada and New England. The program was suspended during World War II, but after the war, Colorado College, with cooperation from the Broadmoor, decided to do the first NCAA Ice Hockey Championship at the end of the 1947-48 season. The tournament was to be held at the Ice Palace for 10 years. Chetty Thompson became the third coach of the program, leading them to a national championship in 1950 with a 13-4 win over Boston University. In 1951, the University of Denver, Colorado College, Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan Tech, Minnesota, and North Dakota became founding members of the Midwest Collegiate Hockey League. The league would become the Western Intercollegiate Hockey League in 1953 and the Western Collegiate Hockey Association in November 1959. It is now called the CCHA. In 1957, CC would win their second national championship. In the years following, CC would only make one appearance in the tournament after winning their conference championship and getting an automatic bid. The years prior, though, they did have a season without any victory. In 1993, Don Lucia took over the Tigers as head coach. In his first season, he won the WCHA regular season. Lucia would lead the Tigers to a tournament berth in 1995 and a runner-up in the 1996 postseason. Scott Owens would take over the program in 1999, leading the Tigers to 3 straight appearances, and in the 2005 tournament would lead the Tigers to the Frozen Four, but with an eventual loss in the semifinal to rivals Denver 2-6. And in 2011, the Tigers would upset the number 1 team in the country and defending national champions Boston College 8-4. CC has not made an appearance in the NCAA tournament since, but has now got a new rink called Ed Robeson Arena, which is on campus. Colorado College would start out their season with an exhibition game against Simon Fraser, which they would win 6-3. Colorado College would beat Union 7-3 on Friday night and then 6-2 on Saturday night. Colorado College would then beat Long Island 4-2 on Friday night and 3-2 on Saturday night. Colorado College would then win their first road game against Air Force to win the Pikes Peak Trophy. Colorado College was now ranked in the top 25 and was the only undefeated team left in all of college hockey. The next night, CC would lose 4-3 to Augustana at home. Colorado College in Denver would then duke it out for the Gold Pan next weekend in a normally one-sided affair. NDU would beat CC 6-1 and then 5-1. CC would bounce back, though, beating Miami 5-1 on Friday night and 4-1 on Saturday night. Next weekend, CC would lose 3-1 to Western Michigan at home on Friday night and then 4-0 on Saturday night. Colorado College would then lose in the shootout to Arizona State on Friday night and then 2-0 to Arizona State on Saturday night at home. At this point, CC would head into a bye week and they would work on a very, very underwhelming power play. And that work on the power play would prove to be good, as CC would then beat North Dakota 3-2 both days in overtime. North Dakota at this time were ranked number 1 in the country, bouncing CC back into ranked positions. Colorado College would then play their second exhibition against Minot State, defeating them 7-1. Colorado College would continue their streak, beating Minnesota 6-4, and then losing 6-2, while Minnesota was in the top 4 in college hockey. The Tigers would then go up to Minnesota Duluth and lose 3-2 in overtime on the first night, but then bounce back and win 3-2 in overtime in the second night. Next weekend, the Tigers at home would defeat Miami 2-1 and then 4-2. The Tigers would then head over to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and beat Western Michigan 2-1 in overtime both nights. The Tigers would then head back to Colorado Springs, lose to St. Cloud in overtime the first night, but then win 5-3 on Saturday night. The Tigers would then beat North Dakota twice by a fine margin at home, while North Dakota was still in the top 5. Colorado College would then head over to Omaha, Nebraska, and lose 3-0 on Friday night and go into an overtime draw on the second night, which Omaha would eventually win in the shootout. Minnesota Duluth would then head down to Colorado Springs, where CC would go to a shootout with them on the first night, but win 4-1 on the second night. Colorado College would then play their final regular season game against Denver, winning their first game of the series 4-3, but then losing at Denver 4-3. Colorado College would finish third in the NCHC, but because St. Cloud had more goals scored, they would take the number 3 spot, and CC would play Omaha in the NCHC playoffs. In the first round of the NCHC tournament, it's a best-of-3 series. Whoever wins 2 games first will advance to the next round. In the first game of the series, CC would win 4-3 in overtime against Omaha after being down 3-0. It was winning into the tournament for CC, but for Omaha, it was win or go home. And Omaha would show what they wanted by winning 3-1. Now, it was winning in for whoever would win this game in the series. Whoever wins this game goes to the NCAA tournament. And whoever loses this game will have to rely on other results to go to the tournament. And Omaha would go to the tournament, winning 2-1. Even though CC would lose their NCHC tournament games, they still had a shot to get in, assuming Quinnipiac could win their conference championship. But they would unfortunately lose in the semifinal. Even though this happened, CC could still make the tournament, assuming Denver would beat St. Cloud in their NCHC tournament semifinal. And they did, and CC was still alive. But Omaha would need to win the conference championship for CC to go through. But unfortunately, Denver won the NCHC tournament, and CC would not be going to the NCAA tournament. After not making the tournament, many CC players, especially in the defense, would leave to go to minor leagues, some to the NHL, and some would graduate and go on. But CC does have a top 5 recruiting class next year, so there is still hope for the future. But unfortunately, in that NCAA tournament, their rivals Denver would win it all. CC also did lose a lot of players, most of which were seniors. One included star player Noah Laba, who scored most of the goals that the team did this year. But many players returning include Caden Mberico, very good goalie, kept CC in every game all year, and many other players that will help keep the team where they are and potentially make it even better. The way ranking in college hockey works a lot different than it does in any other sport. The math isn't supposed to add up. Overtime wins don't add up to 100. They add up to different numbers. But you still won't get full credit for an overtime win, even though your opponent will get half the credit of a win. It's important to note that even though there are very small gaps in the pairwise, 0.004 is still a very large number and will be seen as one of the closest races to get into the tournament.